model or the data structure of an application. So in Salesforce, whenever you are designing an application, it is something which has got to do with the data storage and all, right. So first thing that you need to do there is decide on the objects or the kind of data that you need to store, and then you just have to create those objects, then create the fields under it, set up the relationships, make certain fields, include this field dependency in case it is required, right. So this is what you would do, and if you do these things, your initial data structure will be ready. Fine. Now let's move on to the next thing. Once your data structure is ready, so you have built your infrastructure for storing the data, right? The objects have been created and the fields have been created and the relationships are set. Think of it as the building is ready, right? Now you need to start putting people in the building. So let's say you were constructing a building and you are done with the building construction. Now people need to start moving into it. So people here means the data. Now we start dealing with the data part of it. Earlier also we learned data management, but now we are not talking about putting the data. We are going to talk about the other aspect. How do you secure the data, or how do you control the access? Okay, that is the next thing that we are going to get into. See, there are so many things that we are dealing with now, right? There are applications, there are tabs, there are objects, fields, right? And of course there are records as well, the data, the actual data itself. Now tell me one thing, do you think that everyone in the company, the entire user base in the company will need access to all these components? Whatever Salesforce is providing, whatever we are creating. So everyone in the company, do they need access to all the things? The answer is simple no, right? Some of them might be working on, let's say we have seen the projects, we have seen the applications. We have sales application, we have marketing application, we have project management application, we have call center application. See, one thing is for sure, that all the users do not need access to all of these things. If it's a person from sales team, he just needs access to sales application. If he is someone from marketing team, he just needs access to marketing application, right? So application is just one part of it. Think from the other point. Do they need access to all the objects? No. If someone is from the sales team, he just needs access to the objects which are related to sales application. If I'm a salesperson, I definitely do not need access to project. I might need, but most of the times the chances are there that I will not need to access. If I am from HR, I do not need access to the clients. I need employees' data, right? So access control is what will be required from here. Okay. So now we are going to get into understanding the access control. Who will have what level of access? Who will be able to do what? Who will be able to see what data? Who will be able to edit the data? Who can delete the data? That sort of thing. That needs to be defined, right? So we understand one thing, that everyone in the company does not need same kind of access, right? So if you have 100 users on Salesforce, all of them will not need the same level of access. That's one thing that we understand. Second point that you need to understand here is that some of them, though everyone does not need same access, but small groups will need similar kind of access, right? It's not the same access for everyone. It's not again a unique access for each one of them, right? So small groups will need same kind of access. Like all the people in the sales team might need similar kind of access. All the people from HR team will need similar kind of access. All of them from let's say project management team will need similar kind of access. So there are small groups which will need same kind of access. Okay. So for that, what Salesforce has done, they have provided us with this option of profile. Okay. Now what is a profile? Profile is basically a collection of permissions. In simple words, it's a collection of permissions. Okay. So profile holds a few permissions, and then this profile is assigned to a user. So you put, it's a package. You package all the permissions in a profile and then you assign that to users who need that. Okay. So let's say in our company we have an HR team, there is a sales team, and there is a project management team. Let's say there is a customer support team. Okay. And in HR team there are, let's say, 45 people. In a sales team there are 30 people, and in customer support there are 90. Let's say. Okay. So when I have 90 people, 90 members team in the customer support, it's not a good idea to go and individually define access for each one of them, right? That will take a lot of time. Then that's something which is not the best way of utilizing it. So what we do here is, we don't go to each and individual user and define their access and rights. What we do, we just create profiles. So here we should create a profile for HR. Let's say HR profile, and put all the permissions which are required by these people, and this profile will be assigned to all these 45 users who need HR access. Okay. Whatever permissions are required by this profile, what all applications. So permission, when I say, I mean access. Which all applications they should access, which all objects they should access. So this access needs to be controlled at every level. So whatever components we have learned in last couple of days, we need to control access for each one of them. Object, field, apps, tabs, everything. Records. Right. So you need to create a profile for HR, put all the permissions which are required by this HR person, and assign it to all these 45 users. Then create one more profile for sales people, create it, call it sales profile. Put all the permissions which are required by them, or what sort of access sales profile sales guys need. Create this profile and assign it to all these 30 users. Okay. And same thing you can do for the customer support team. Okay, so this is an easy way of doing it. So Salesforce uses this concept called profile. Where do you see the profile in Salesforce? You just need to click on setup. Go to manage users. Under manage users there is an option called profiles. Click on this. It will show you all the profiles which are there in your organization. Okay. For profile, again we have the same concept of standard profile and custom profile. Just give me 1 second. So yep, I'm back. So for profile, again we have the same concept of standard profile, custom profile. What is standard profile? All the profiles which Salesforce have created from their side. You cannot make too many changes on those. You can make changes still, but not all things you can change there. Custom profile is what? The profiles that we create. Okay. So by default also they have provided 3 custom profiles. Okay. You can make all changes on these 3 profiles, but others are standard profiles. So whatever list of profiles you see, in case there is a tick mark in front of that custom column, that means it's a custom profile. Otherwise all other profiles are our standard profiles. Okay. Now this is the list of profiles that we have. Okay. Let's click on any of these profiles. Let's say I click on this custom marketing profile. So as I was talking about sales profile, they have a marketing profile. Once you click on this profile, you click on edit. You will see you have the option of custom app setting. Custom app setting is which all apps should be visible under this profile. So when you open up a profile, you have the option of choosing which application should be visible under that profile, right? Like, in case you don't want the marketing profile to see any of the apps, you can remove all the apps and just give sales and marketing app. So now what I've done, I've just edited the apps which will be visible to this particular profile. Right. So now what will happen?
I'm sorry, one quick question. In my case, the custom app setting, the listing looks different than yours. Is this the default list or we can change it too?
Which one? Sorry?
The custom app settings list of applications in the custom app setting. It looks different in my case. I don't have the app launcher or business one.
Yeah. So
I have the
depends on what all, yeah, depends on what all apps you have created. Completely depends on that.
Okay. Okay.
So we have, yeah, you have any other question? Okay. So this is the thing. Please mute your microphone. Yeah. So now on this profile what we have done, we have selected only two apps, sales and marketing. Now what will happen? All the users, see, the profile is not a user, profile is just a collection of permissions. So all the users who are using this profile, all the users who have been assigned this profile, they will only get to see these two apps. That is it. So that is. So if you have to control certain thing for a user, if the company says that this guy should not be able to see this application, what we need to do, we just need to go to the profile that has been assigned to that user and make the changes here. Okay. So this is how it works. It's more like, any package, let's say, you take a television package, which all channels you want to see and all, right? So that there's a package and then, you take up the package and you are just allowed to see the channels which are, which have been allowed on that package. So it's more like that. Permissions are put on the profile and the profile is then given to the user, right? User will have all the access that has been provided on the profile. All right. Same way. So just below your apps, list of apps, scroll down a little. You will see tab settings. All right. So now you have a list of all the tabs here. All the standard tabs and the custom tabs. Custom tabs are the tabs that you created, and standard tabs are the default tabs which were there by which were given by Salesforce. So you see standard tabs and custom tabs all listed here. Okay, we have the option of controlling access to tabs also. Okay, on the profile. So on profile you are controlling your apps, which all apps permission you want to give on the profile. Tabs also we are controlling on the profile. So for a tab permission there are three options: default on, default off, and tab hidden. Right. So default on for a profile. Let's say I say make accounts tab default on for what is this thing? marketing profile, right? This marketing profile. So if I make certain tab default on for marketing profile, then this tab will be available on the panel itself. Default on means something which is available here. Default off means not available right on the front panel, but it is available under this all tabs button. So default off will be available here. Default on will be available on the panel, and tab hidden means that tab will be hidden from that profile. So that will be completely hidden. They cannot see it. Got that? Like this orders tab, it is tab hidden. So users in this profile cannot see this tab, neither on the panel nor in this all tabs button. Got that? So that is about our profile. So profile basically holds the permissions and it is assigned to the user. Every user can have just one profile. Any user can have only one profile, and profile is a required field. Every user needs to have a profile. So if you go to this users option under setup manage users, there is users. Here you will get the list of users. So you will see there is some profile assigned to the user. It's a mandatory field. Okay. So every user needs to have a profile, and every user or each user can have only one profile. So any user cannot have two profiles. Okay. So profile will hold all those permissions, and then once the user is created, you assign the profile to the user. Let's say right now the profile that is being assigned to this user called Vijay is system administrator. You can click on the user, edit, and give him some other profile. And because this is the first user, you cannot change it from system administrator. But if you have more than one user, you will be able to change the profile here. You will have the drop down and you can change it. Let's say there is one more user here. See, you have the option of changing the profile. So it's a drop down. Marketing profile, you can put it. Right. So are we fine with this? Now, profile also is used for controlling the objects, the access to the objects. Okay. So for objects, it is a little different.
One quick question here. How many new users can we create on the screen?
Sorry? How many
new users can we create in the developer version? New users?
You can just have two. Okay. Now for object permissions, just scroll down. Once you've clicked on edit, first is custom app settings, then the tab settings. Scroll down. If you scroll down a little, you will see object permissions, standard object permission, custom object permissions. For object permission, when you give a permission on object to a profile, you need to give this kind of permissions. Read, create, edit, delete. So for object, it's not visible or not visible, because object will hold data, right? So whether this profile users can only see the data, or they can create data, or can they edit the data as well, or delete. So what level of access you want to give? Okay. So anyone who has just a read access on account, any profile, users of that profile will just be able to view the accounts. They cannot create any account, they cannot delete, they cannot edit, right? So that level of access is very much important, right? When you are dealing with profiles, or you want to, sometimes, you might have worked in certain system where you do not have a delete access. Definitely company would not want to give delete access to everyone to secure the data. You should not have edit access at times. Should not have view access also. Sometimes they don't even want to give view access to some of the users. Let's say I am from HR team and the company does not want me to see accounts, anything related to accounts. So they remove the complete access from there. Right? Clear on this? So that's a little about profile. We'll talk a little more about this in our next session. So we'll continue further on this, and let's connect tomorrow then.